Ladies and gentlemen, I am a degenerate. Not because I like to watch Tracer and Diva commit multiple acts of sin. No. I am a degenerate because whenever a sandbox game tests me with killing people and then gives me a toy box full of trinkets that I can combine with one another, I always find new ways to commit war crimes without even breaking a sweat. Besiege being one of those games, set in a steampunkish medieval era where you can build from the most basic of trebuchets and catapults all the way to tanks, fighter jets, and even... No, let's just not touch that. You are an engineer of a king who's on the process of oppressing every single kingdom he comes across. And to do so, you are tasked to build the appropriate machine to complete the level. Be that destroying infrastructure, rolling balls, stealing precious artifacts, or just straight up committing genocide. In any physics-based building game, people may try to replicate real-world engineering in an attempt to see if the physics engine is realistic or not. Which in the case of Besiege, is not. It's made on Unity. What the fuck did you expect? If you want to try and replicate real-world engineering in Besiege, you need to find a way to Besiegify it. For example, this here is a front-wheel drive system, lifted up from a textbook that I read and a video on YouTube that I watched. I copied it one-to-one, and this here is an open differential with an engine that I borrowed from the workshop. They don't work. The front-wheel drive is extremely wobbly, and the open diff has no power. Not even when I lock it. But I don't blame the lack of power from the engine I borrowed from the workshop. I blame myself for not fully understanding this game's engine even after 1400 hours. So this here is a car frame that I use in basically every car I build. It is all-wheel drive, all-around independent suspension, and open diffs. Cars being my first specialty and favorite thing to do, here's a little collection of what I've managed to create along the years. This is the Audi Sport Quattro family. We got the regular Quattro, the Quattro S1 Rally, the Quattro Drift, the Quattro Ute, the Quattro Ute Drift, the Quattro Van Technico, the Quattro Monster, the Quattro Police, and a very special one that I will leave for later. All of these were made based on the regular Quattro body, the very first car I attempted to recreate in Besiege, and I must say, I think I did a very good job. Moving on, we got 3 variants for the 1994 Chevy Chevette. We got the regular inline 4 2-liter Chevette, the V8 Special Chevette, and the Chevette Drift Spec. There is also this very early build of a Japanese drift car that I'm still working on. It looks like a Silvia, but it handles like shit. It still drifts though, but it's still very ugly. Still very beta. And seeing this many drift cars, you must be wondering, do they even work? Well, what if I show you? But if cars isn't your thing, dread not, for I've made a myriad of aircrafts varying from the props to jets to whatever the fuck this is. I also made my very first VTOL aircraft more than a year ago, when I wasn't familiar with the concept of airframes. So this plane's wings are very fucking thin and fragile, but nothing that trial and error can't fix. And nowadays, every plane I build starts with a rudimentary airframe that helps the plane both look better, control better, and handle more Gs, meaning I can make sharper turns without breaking the plane in half. I've just never grasped how helicopters work in this game. I know that there is a guide on the community tab, but it's very long and I am very lazy. Hell, I've started the script for this video way back in November. But if you wanna see the cursed stuff, cast your eyes on this. Do you think that it can't get any worse? Oh, think again. If you ever wondered what would be the result of mixing a Harrier 2 and an F-35, we here at Lockshade Farting certainly did. And we are proud to unveil the F-40 Harrier 2 Electric Boogaloo, complete with VTOL system, twin cannons, twin turbojet engines, air brake, and high maneuverability. We also did something that may upset some people, but our fans will forever praise us for it. We bought the rights to the A-10 Warthog from Fairchild Republic and modified it to match Lockfart standards. We started by removing the GAU-8, the signature gun for the aircraft, the gun in which the aircraft was built around, and we created an entirely new weapon system. A 6-barreled 35mm 4500 rounds per minute cannon. We called it the Frontline Assault Gun, or yeah. With this very small and simple change, we managed to transform the A-10 into an actually good piece of hardware and useful close air support weapon that doesn't kill friendlies, especially the British ones. But it didn't stop there. Please drive your attention towards the A-100 Thunderfucker, a demon that appeared in the nightmares of our chief engineer and that we now share with you all, because you also deserve to suffer from our ungodly mistakes. But we can go deeper. This is the A-100X Sound Twatter. It's a supersonic variant of the A-100 that can barely withstand supersonic speeds. And now that we have control over the A-10 platform, we created a variant for the F-40 Harrier 2. The F, everything in that general direction. We basically took two of our new weapon system and grafted them to the landing gears of our plane. Don't worry, they are very strong, they can hold it. And with this amount of firepower, say goodbye to that village in Iraq you once knew about. Look at that volume of fire. What the fuck was that? Alright, leaving the most cursed stuff behind, this game, together with some mods from the workshop, can become quite the time killer. And I've caught myself many times thinking about different machine designs while doing mundane things such as taking a bath or walking the dog. For a quick roundup of the other machines I've developed, there's this little tank platform that I made to be almost universal, from tank destroyers to anti-air batteries and regular turreted tanks. I've also made two Soviet mock-up planes. One is heavily inspired by the IL-2, sporting 2 bombs and 4 cannons. It has adjustable throttle and flaps for takeoff and landing. Meanwhile, this is a jet inspired by the yaks and lags of yore. And if you're a hyper-maneuverability enjoyer, it can Cobra. Fuck off. And speaking of prop planes with the rocket strapped to the back. Yeah. There is also this little machine that I just named Power. I'll give 1 second for you to guess what it does. You're wrong. This is a very wonky and jumpy suspension system that can barely hold its own weight, but it's very fun to raw crawl with. Just don't try to throw any body at it. It won't hold. The suspension will just flat out. Besiege is that kind of game that you glance over and think, huh, what a dumb but neat little concept. But once you spend enough time playing around, creating and destroying, you can find yourself losing hundreds, maybe thousands of hours of your life to this very simple but very fun medieval building game. In conclusion, Bad Pig is 3D. Fuck off. There's some quick words before I go. Well, first and foremost, thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked the video. I know it's not the most polished thing you've seen in the last weeks or so, especially because Maxer has uploaded recently and his content is very good and I love him very much. This project took a very good chunk of my life for the past month and a half. It probably took more than 120 hours to fully complete, without the rendering time, which will take around 5 to 6 hours. I hope less. God help less. And it was in the process of making this video that I realized that this is what I want to do. Thank you and good night.